Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's been a while since I made a video for you guys, but shout out to Ethan. He's keeping me accountable. He reached out to me on Instagram and he said, hey man, you haven't produced a YouTube video in a while. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I got you. I'm going to produce one for you guys. And the topic today is something that's incredibly relevant, right? Especially for those of you who come from inner cities and those of you in general, right? Because I think probably at least 90%, 80 to 90% of people struggle being in negative environments, right? Whether it be their friends at school, their family at home, these people that they're around, or at least they were around or are around before they were aware of how important an environment is. You know, when you start personal development, you start learning about these things, and one of the number one things people tell you is, make sure that you're in a good environment, make sure you're around good people. Because you're the average of the 5 people you spend your time with, which I 100% agree with. That's absolutely true. But how do you deal with a negative environment? How do you deal with a negative parent, a negative sibling, a negative close friend, a negative neighbor, someone that it's hard to stop spending time with because you're around them all the time, right? Involuntarily, maybe somebody in your class who you sit next to, you don't have much of a choice whether or not to sit next to them or something like that. Here's the number one thing to keep in mind, right? I learned this from Sam Ovens. This is so powerful for this, today's topic and in general. It's something called mental feedback loops, right? Because the problem is the way that negative people impact you the most is when they insert beliefs and ideas into your psyche without you even noticing, right? So a great example is, let's say you have a negative friend, right? And you guys go to play basketball and you miss a shot and he's like, yo, you're so bad at basketball, bro. You are so bad. Blah, blah, blah. He just keeps on, kind of like always trashing you in like indirect. He's like, it's making it a joke, but it's not a joke, kind of one of those things. And so what happens is that he inserts that belief into your subconscious mind. And the thing is, failure is inevitable, right? You're gonna fail, you're gonna mess up, you're gonna make mistakes, right? Throughout anything that you do, a mistake, a failure is gonna come at one point or another. So with this basketball example, you're gonna go shoot another shot, you might make the next one, but then when you miss, in your mind, you're gonna go, oh snap, he told me I suck, I missed, that confirms that I suck because I just missed my shot. Let's say you go and miss the next 5 shots, you're like, oh, he said I suck, and I just missed 5 shots, I must actually suck. Right? This happens at a subconscious level. So the reason why this is called a mental feedback loop is because what happens is that it is a belief, right? I'm bad at basketball. That then turns into a result because it's something that happened, right, in real time. So you are bad at basketball because you missed the shot, right? And so because that happened, you're reinforcing the belief of being bad at basketball, which then loops inevitably and becomes a part of most people's identities, right? This happens to people all the time. Now, you can do this with literally any belief that people are inserting into you, whether it be, personal development gurus, all those people are scams, right? You have that belief, you see another post about it, you're like, oh snap, look, it happened again. Boo, and then you never invest in yourself because you think it's all a scam. That's just one example. You could do it with countless other things. But the way that you intercept this is by being aware of it, right? So once you become aware of mental feedback loops, you can go, okay, this person said this. This person, my mom said that, I don't know. My mom said that I'm fat and lazy, right? She keeps calling me fat and lazy. That is starting to become a mental feedback loop of me believing that I'm fat and lazy, which then makes me more fat and lazy, right? By being aware of how mental feedback loops work, you can consciously intercept this subconscious pattern and say, you know what? No, I'm not going to believe that. Like, you have to consciously stop the cycle and insert your own new, better beliefs. Like in that example, I'm athletic, I'm fit, I'm productive, I'm committed, I'm determined. And then you take actions to reinforce your own beliefs. There's something called confirmation bias, meaning humans, we always want to confirm what we already believe, right? This is part of how mental feedback loops work. We always want to confirm what we already believe, and we always want to be right. We always want to be right. Now the question is, what is right? Because what is right is subjective to the person you're speaking to, right? So if for you, what is right is that you're productive, you're determined, you're committed, you are athletic, you are lean, you are strong. If that is what is right about your identity, then through the confirmation bias and through mental feedback loops, you will take actions to continue to reinforce your own beliefs. Now that is challenging for a lot of people, because that in the beginning, you're working against what your negative environment is saying to you and what you've believed for years and years in your life, right? You're trying to remove these old negative beliefs and insert these new ones. That can be challenging. I've experienced that being challenging. I know for a lot of people that can be challenging. It's hard because you have this wiring from years and years of life and years of negativity. But that is the first step. Is how do I create new beliefs and reinforce them every day with actions towards those beliefs? So for example, if you're saying you're determined, be determined, right? And then not only that, things like affirmations, meditation, listening to like audio affirmations, not just saying it yourself, but listening to it. Like those YouTube videos will be like an hour long, and it's just saying like, I am determined, I am confident, etc., etc., etc. That helps as well. But really the bottom line is you consciously taking actions to affirm those beliefs. So like I said, if you're saying that you're determined, be determined. Follow through on what you're saying and the beliefs that you want to create, and soon enough they'll become a part of your identity, and you'll create a positive feedback loop of the belief being I am determined, the result showing that you are determined because you followed through on what you said you do, and then that creates a cycle, and that then creates your identity, which then in that case will create a positive outcome for your life. A great way also to create new beliefs is to start small, right? So if, like I said, the belief is I am determined, I am committed, I'm consistent, do that in a small way. We've talked about this before on the channel, but if that's the belief, don't make a list of 100 things that you have to be determined and committed to. Make a list of one thing that you have to be determined and committed to, 2 things you have to be determined and committed to, 3 things. Make it easy, because the belief is the same either way. If you could be determined and committed to 1 or 2 things, you're gonna believe that about yourself the same way as if you were committed and determined to 100 things. So that is the video for today. I hope it was helpful. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this. What are the mental feedback loops that you have right now? What are the beliefs that people have inserted into you, these negative beliefs that have created negative identity frames in your own mental and your own psyche right now? Maybe it's that you're bad at math. That was one for me. A negative feedback loop that was inserted into me is that I'm bad at math, and I believe that my whole life. Sometimes do it to yourself. But let me know in the comment section below. Appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope this was helpful. And till next time, peace.